If you're considering this monitor, you probably have a very similar use case as I do. You want a monitor that's larger than 34 inches, but not quite as big as 49. You will like a higher refresh rate monitor for gaming, but you also have a work laptop that you use from time to time to get some work done. If that sounds like you, this monitor may be it. This is LG's new 38WN95C ultrawide monitor. It's a 38-inch ultrawide monitor with a max resolution of 3840 by 1600. That's an aspect ratio of 16 by 10. That gives you a little bit more of extra vertical height than 16 by 9. It has a max refresh rate of 144 Hz and supports both FreeSync and G-Sync. The ThunderBolt 3 connection supports power delivery of up to 94 watts. It also has other features such as HDR600, built-in speakers, and picture-by-picture mode. I'm no expert in monitors, so I can't give you an in-depth technical review, but I'll do my best to give you an overview of the features and what it's like to use this monitor. Upon opening the box, you'll find one dead wasp and an accessory box. In that box, you'll find the cable holder for the included stand, a 5 feet Thunderbolt 3 cable, a DisplayPort cable, the power brick, and the power cord. Next, let's take a look at the included stand. The base is made of metal, but the vertical piece is made of plastic. They attach together very easily with the screw in the stand. To attach it to the monitor, you just snap it in. In the back of the monitor, you have Thunderbolt 3, DisplayPort, 2 HDMIs, 2 USBs, and 1 headphone jack. The Thunderbolt port also acts as USB upstream. With the included stand, you can swivel the monitor to the right and left and tilt the monitor up or down. It has a minimum height of about 19 inches, and you can raise it to a maximum of about 23.5 inches. Let's take a look at the HDR600. I've never had an HDR monitor or TV before, so this is very new to me. I'll be showing you some comparisons between HDR off and HDR enabled, both on Mac and Windows. Don't look at the actual colors in this crude test because I'm recording in a flat color profile and I'm not doing any color grading. Instead, look at the differences in colors between HDR off and HDR on. There is a clear difference on Mac OS with HDR enabled. With HDR enabled, non-HDR content on both Mac and Windows looks pretty washed out, so I will leave it off if you're not watching any HDR movies or playing HDR games. You can only have 8-bit color with 144 Hz. To get 10-bit color, you'll have to limit your refresh rate to 120 Hz, and I'll show you differences between the two. Moving on to HDR gaming. Battlefront 2 was the only game that I had that supported HDR. While there is a difference when looking at the footage side by side, I didn't really notice it when I was playing. Let's move on to the built-in speakers. I don't know too much about audio to give an in-depth review, but I can tell you that they are there if you need them in a pinch. But it's not really a selling point for this monitor. Here's a very crude test between the speakers that are built into the monitor and the Swans D1010s I have on my desktop. Let's move on to picture by picture. To turn on picture by picture, go into the settings. If this happens to you with one of your machines, go into your display settings and select the correct resolution of 1920 by 1600. The picture by picture works just fine. However, there's no built-in KVM switch and there's only one USB upstream port, which makes it very difficult to share USB devices amongst two machines. I have two separate mice to control each machine. I could pair both machines to my MX Master, but I find it easier to use two mice since they're pretty small to have around. But what about my other USB devices, such as my keyboard? I have all of my USB devices connected to a USB switch that I attach to the monitor. The switch is connected to my monitor's USB port and my Windows PC. Whenever I want to switch to keyboards and other devices, I press a button on the switch. One small thing, if you have an older MacBook Pro, I wasn't able to get 144Hz enabled on my 2017 MacBook Pro. However, it looks like a 2018 model and newer supports 144Hz. I can't speak for any of the other MacBook models. Overall, I'm really happy with this monitor. The large screen makes gaming really immersive when the game supports ultrawide anyways, and it's great for getting some work done. The biggest downside for me is probably the price at $1,600 US. But if you're looking for a 38-inch monitor for both work and play, this is your best option right now. Leave a comment if you have any questions and I'll do my best to answer them. Please like the video if you liked it and subscribe to stay updated on my future content. Until next time.